It's the grandson of right thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, especially you flockulators. Shout out to the flockulators. Peace to the flockulators. Blessing to the flockulators. Got a very interesting message for you all today. So I guess you could say we got some very interesting cuisine for you today. It's probably going to be new to most of you. I doubt that it is going to be something that you heard before. Maybe it has, maybe it is, but I doubt that because we like to give new wine here at the School of Marvelous Light. That's what we do here. So we're going to give some new wine. Now, unfortunately, new wine can only be poured into new wine skins. So that means that only new wineskins are going to be able to receive what I'm saying today. Because the old wineskin is the carnal mind that as we've been discussing here, little flock. Those in the carnal mind carnal things. So they receive things that you tell them carnally, quite literally to the 3D. You see what I'm saying to you? But the spiritual mind minds the things of the spirit. It searches for the mind of God. It knows the mind of God, the spirit that is. So if you want to know the mind of God concerning his word, then you must be spiritually minded because God is a spirit and those who worship him must worship him in spirit, which comes along with and truth. They come together. The spirit is the true way to worship the Father. So when the grandson teaches to you, I bridge the gap between the two for the most part. And then there are other times when I'm just on one side, which is the spiritual side. You see? So through this message, you'll see the gap that I'm bridging at times. But hopefully you'll be able to understand the spiritual application. Don't just look at the one side of the gap. Go across the bridge to the side that I'm leading you to. I'm putting the bridge there so that you can get over there. You see what I'm saying to you, little flock? But don't get so focused on the bridge that you forget to cross it. We want you to cross over. You see? Some water. Children of Israel, we need you to pass over. We need you to cross over that Red Sea. You see? So we're going to do that today. Now, we've been talking about the effects of Bebe, Jezebel, and her teachings, how they affect the children, how they affect the husband, and how they affect the children of the house, which are the inhabitants of the earth. How does Jezebel being sitting on the throne as a queen, she says, how does her sitting at a position affect the world that you live in? Well, it corrupts the world, and it teaches the world to focus their minds carnally on the 3D. You see it? She teaches you how to mind carnal things. So that's why you saw the church was corrupted with focusing on outer things. That's what Yahusha spoke against. The hypocrites who did such a thing. Well, I revealed to you how they learned to do that and where it came from, that thing they were doing. I'm proving it to you by teaching you about Jezebel, you see. Well, the scripture says, return to your first love. Because that means Jezebel became your second love. You went for her. And this is the results you got. So return back to your first love. That's what we're going to talk about here today, little flock. You see, we've talked about Jezebel. We've made that clear. Now, it don't do you no good to know that you've been with a wicked woman and divorce her if you're not going to go to the true wife and redeem her to yourself. You see what I mean, little flockulators? Let me break it down in simple terms so everybody can understand what I'm saying. When you were carnally minded, which is the person you were first, because Esau is born first. There are twins in Rebekah's womb, which represent each and every one of us. You see that? That are born into the earth. When we're born with a carnal mind. You see it? We're raised in that world of carnality, Jezebel's world. So we're raised to worship and judge with outward appearance. God makes that clear. Man judges outward appearance. You see how he says the daughters of men and the sons of God came together, and that caused something to become corrupt, which was the earth. Remember how we were reading that in Genesis? The earth was corrupt. The sons of God came to the daughters of men. You see how he's saying daughters of men? Men judge outward appearance. What do you think Babylon is about? And why do you think it says the daughter of Babylon? You received the same teachings that Babylon was all about. Babylon was the head of gold, which means the most outwardly glorious kingdom you could ever possibly hope to see. That's why he said it's lesser and lesser as time goes on. It'll never be like that head of gold was, which is Babylon. You see it? So the daughter of Babylon hopes to have that same glory, doing the same thing, outward appearance, how I sound, how I look, how I dress. You see it? Well, Abba says the hidden man of the heart is who he's focusing on. Well, that's the second man that you become, which is Jacob. You see it? The spiritual man who is smooth, a plain man dwelling in his tent. You see the two different kind of women? One's out there in the field. As the world says, she's for the streets. Look, the two type of women that I'm describing to you, one of them is for the streets, as the world would say. Now, which one does the world say is for the streets? The virtuous, covered, hidden, quiet, meek woman? Or the loud, clamorous, the Bible calls it, rebellious, contentious woman? Which one do you think is for the streets? Well, you know which one. See, Esau, the first world, the rough world, the senses, all about the senses, wearing expensive perfume, nice ass clothes, driving nice ass cars. That's what that whole world is about, isn't it? Is it not? But once you're converted out of that. And nobody can deny this. What I'm saying is, you're not coming into the world humble, meek, quiet, and everything, and then you become for the streets. That's the conversion God is doing in you. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what he's doing. He's not taking you from a humble, meek, dwelling in your own tent, plain man, and then converting you into a braggadocious, prideful, loud, arrogant, all about outward appearance man. That's not the conversion God is doing. It's quite the opposite. And we can all agree that that's the case. So we all know what is of a high price to Abba based on what I've just told you about the conversion he wants to make in you. He wants to convert you into a smooth man, dwelling in your own tent. Now watch how this message, when you get to the end of it, how it goes with what I just said about dwelling in your own tent and returning to your first love. Watch how it's all going to come full circle with everything that we're about to read today. We're going to go to the Song of Solomon. The Song of Solomon, we'll start at chapter 4 and verse 12. We'll start there. The Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 12. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Stop. Now, you heard the word spouse there. So Solomon is saying his wife, his first love, is a garden enclosed, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Do you hear them three words right there? Enclosed, shut up, sealed. Now, I said something about full circle, but it already made a little bitty loop right there if you guys were paying attention. Didn't I say a plain man dwelling in his own tent, and there he will find his first love? That not what I just told you? Well, what is the Song of Solomon about? Is it not a song of love? You see how this is all starting to connect already. All right? So, returning to your garden, which is enclosed, which is where your spouse is. That is your spouse. A spring shut up. Now, consider it in the 3D. This is what I mean about bridging the gap. Consider what I've just read to you in the 3D. What would that mean? That would mean a man has a woman that is his spouse or his wife, and she is cut off from anybody having access to her other than him. Now, doesn't that make perfect sense to the carnal mind? A woman is born, she's born a virgin, And when a man finds her and makes her his wife, he takes her virginity and he knows her, the Bible says, and they become one flesh. And now they're one person. They're no longer two people. It's not a man and a woman standing there anymore. They're now Adam. Because in the beginning, male and female created he them and called their name Adam. So now they're in that state, again, of being one new flesh. You understand what I'm saying to you? So now she is cut off from anybody having access to her, correct? Correct? All right, then. Now, what happens if somebody unseals that fountain and drinks from it, or opens that spring and drinks from it, or unlocks that garden and enters it? What happens between the relationship of the male and the female that have become one? They become separated into two again, don't they? Or as the Bible says, he will cut her off from his flesh because she have played the harlot. She's a harlot if she allows someone else to gain entrance into his fountain. Correct, little flockulators? What does it say about the adulterous woman, the harlot? It says she will drink. It says don't give her over much liberty. What does over much liberty mean? Too much freedom. Why? Because she will drink from every fountain. See how it's connecting there? She will drink from every fountain, and she will open her quiver to every arrow. A quiver is that thing you see an archer holding on his back with his arrows inside of it. It says she will open her quiver to every arrow. I think we all can understand what that's saying. So she's not a garden enclosed. You see? So then she ain't your first love. You see that there, little flockulators? We want to return you to your first love, where there's a fountain that's sealed. There's a bride for you that's sealed that no one else can get access to. That's what Solomon's telling you there in that verse. No one else can. She exists for each and every one of you listening to me today. I don't care if you're male or female, because I reside in the kingdom. In the kingdom, there is no male or female. Haven't you heard it written? All right, then. So it doesn't matter if you're a male or a female listening to me today. You all have a spouse. And in the Song of Solomon, you'll see that it is a woman's perspective and a male's perspective. So both of you should be able to understand as we go through this message today. You see? So we see that there's a garden enclosed, a spring shut up, and a fountain sealed. Now these things like garden and a spring and a fountain, what do they represent? Life-giving sources. Correct? If you were living out in the wilderness, you would need to either have a fountain or a spring so that you can have a water source. Correct? And you would also need a garden so that you can plant some food and eat. Correct? And if you have those two things, then you're good. Correct? Like the Garden of Eden was. All right then, little flock. So when you return back to this first love, then you return back to the Garden of Eden. Because that's the way you existed in the Garden of Eden. Male and female created he them and called their name Adam, and they walked and talked with God in the cool of the day. You were just chilling with Abba without any shame, guilt, sin, doubt, struggle, strife, any of that. When you return to your first love, which is what I'm about to tell y'all how to do today. Now, did you hear what I just told you? I'm going to tell you how to do it. If I was you, I'd listen up, little flockulators. I'd listen up. All right. Now let's go to Song of Solomon chapter 1. All right, go a few chapters back. We're going to start at verse 5. Now remember what I told you. There are two worlds that you exist in through your travels here if you become converted. Otherwise, you just stay in the first world and you are never converted into the new. But if you are converted into the new, then you have experience understanding how both worlds operate. That being the carnal and the spiritual. You understand? So when you read this today, I want you to understand it from both perspectives. I'm going to help you understand it. Verse 5, I am black, but comely. Stop. I am black or dark, whatever words that are going to tickle your fancy or not make you feel offended, or you know how people are when they read that word about black. Oh, hold on. They want to get into arguments about race and genealogies and everything. But it's deeper than that, little flock. Don't get caught up on that. Like I said, don't get caught up on the 3D. I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Why? Let's read. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. Check this out. But mine own vineyard have I not kept. Stop there, little flockulators. What does that mean? Play the Jeopardy music. Cue the Jeopardy music. I'll give you guys a second. What we just read, what does it mean? If you're taking notes, then get your notepad ready, because I'm about to tell you some new wine here. All right? I am black but comely. This means I've been under the sun, as it's written there. What does that mean? Well, Solomon, the one who wrote this, also said, all done under the sun is vanity and vexation of what? Spirit. Remember the two worlds I told you about that have enmity and are at war? See, they're not friendly one to another. They're at war. So if you've become dark because you've been under the sun, what does that mean? You've been in the 3D realm. Everything done under the sun is vanity. That's why it's written there. She says, they made me a keeper of the vineyards. So I was working in the 3D. I was at work in the 3D under the sun. I was so focused on doing that I neglected to do what? Keep mine own vineyard. What do that mean? Well, what did I tell you about the kingdom of heaven? Where is it? The kingdom of heaven is also known as the Garden of Eden. Where is it? It's within you. Interesting. So you're under the sun in the 3D, participating in it, being busy all day, that you forget to go within. Look how it's about to click like a Lego up in here. Plain man dwelling in his tent. Tent means body. Tabernacle, tent, temple. It all means body. Does it not, little flockulators? Okay, well, what did Moses build for Abba? Did he build a brick and mortar temple, or did he build what was known as a tabernacle, which is nothing but a big old tent? And then when Solomon came, then they built the actual temple. You see that there, little flock, of the guy we're reading here today. Which represents his body. Not nothing outside of himself. It represents the inside. That's how come God dwelt in there. Did he dwell in Moses? Well, let's see what the scripture says concerning Moses. Moses, I make you as God, and I make Aaron your prophet. Don't you guys think it's interesting that Moses had a prophet? And he was as God? So then the temple, which is your body, according to the scripture, must be made in a way suitable so that Abba can reside in your body. Not under the sun, outside of you. That's vanity. That's a waste of time. It vexes your spirit. Just like she said, I have denied to keep my own garden. I have vexed my own spirit because I've been so caught up working under the sun. That's what she said there, didn't it? That's you. So when you were in the old world, you were too busy laboring under the sun in the 3D to get the kingdom of heaven for yourself. If I work hard under the sun, then I'm going to get the kingdom of heaven. No, you're just going to get black. Them slaves on them plantations working hard as hell. Did it help them find the kingdom of heaven or not? No, it didn't. So working under the sun is nothing but vexation. It means laboring for what you seek for in the 3D will not produce it for you. That's what it means. You see? Old wineskin cannot receive that because he believed hard work under the sun is what give him the thing he looking for, which is the kingdom. That's what he believes. But Yahushua made it clear that it doesn't come with outward observation. See how I just sweep them up into a dustpan and then dump them into the trash with no problem? Continuing. So mine own vineyard have I not kept. Where's the vineyard I told you to keep? It's your mind. I told you guys about gardening in there, didn't I? Didn't I say you have to go in your mind and you have to pull out the weeds that are in there and don't allow them to take up root in your garden, or they will grow into a big ass nasty stinking plant, and it will be many of them, and it will be hard and laborious to pull those things out. So keep watch over your vineyard so that weeds and thistles and things, thorns, don't spring up in there. Weed, thistle, thorns are things like bitterness, hatred, malice. But the fruit of the Spirit, joy, peace, keep on going. Yeah, that's right. You guys know it. Self-control. See, you can exhibit the fruit of the Spirit when you have uprooted the wheat and the tares from within your own vineyard. But if you lack to do that, then you're laboring under the 3D, like I told you, just getting cooked up by the sun. You see what I'm saying there, little flock? Does this make sense to you or does it not make sense to you? Verse 7. Let me see. Do I want verse? Nah, I'm good. Now, we're going to go to Song of Solomon chapter 5. Now, we're about to really get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, little flock, so pay attention here. Like I said, you got a notebook. It'd be wise to take notes. Because this is something that you can apply every day. This is something that you must apply every day. And it's easy and light once you do it. Because is a relationship easy and light if it's your first love and it's true and it's sealed? That means nobody can interfere in what y'all got going on. They don't know about this here. Don't think about what people say. They don't know about you and me, or whatever you say, about me and you, however it go. Get it out your mind, cause it's jealousy. They don't know about this here. Y'all know that? That's basically another song of Solomon. They don't know about this here because it's sealed. Just like Abba did you. See, I'm only talking to the sealed ones. I'm only talking to those who can receive this, which are those who dwell upon Mount Zion, which the only people up on Mount Zion are those who have been sealed with the name of the living God upon their forehead. Because if you don't know the name of the living God and have not been sealed with it, then you cannot enter into this secret place and do the thing that I'm telling you to do. You can't do it. You must come through the door, which is I am is the door. That's the Father's name. That's how you get into the secret place, because it's inside of you. All right, continuing. Like I said, we get into the meat and potatoes. Pay attention. Song of Solomon 5, verse 1. I am come into my garden. Stop. Remember that garden we were just talking about, little flock of ladies? Look at what Solomon's saying. Now, this is the husbandman. So this is you while you're awake. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. When you're consciously awake, you're the husband. When you're asleep, you're the woman. Or when you go into that garden, you're the woman. But when you are awake, you're the conscious mind. So the conscious and the subconscious are the male and the female. You see that today, little flock of ladies? All right. Y'all see that today? My bad, I have my phone behind my back. Y'all know how I be tripping. All right. I am coming to my garden, my sister, my spouse. The same one he said was enclosed and all that stuff, right? I have gathered my myrrh and my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb with my honey. I have drunk my wine with my milk. You hear that? Eat, oh friends, drink. Yeah, drink abundantly, oh beloved. You see that today, little flock of ladies? So I've been busy taking care of business, doing what I gotta do. Like I said, if you read Ecclesiastes, it says, eat, drink, be merry, for this is the man's portion from all the labor that he hath under the sun. Don't you see it, little flock? They say, work hard, play hard. That's the play hard that he's describing. I've been working hard, so look at all of the fruits of my work. Let's celebrate. It's eat and drink and be merry. Do y'all understand that? Okay, listen. I sleep. What did I say? When you're awake and when you're asleep. Now, we just said I sleep. So then we're going to bring in a female here. Let's see. I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister. So who's talking? This is the bride. Told you. See how this is connected like Legos, little flock of laders. So I was awake when I was conscious, doing all of this work, doing all of this labor, so I could eat and drink and be merry and party and feel like I'm in the kingdom. You see? I sleep, but my heart waketh. So now, what does that mean? I sleep, but my heart waketh. That's called going into a internal silence, or what we call meditation today. when you go into an internal silence, closing your eyes, laying back. Now, is this something that the grandson has told you guys to do? About going there, close your eyes, close the door, for that's the secret place within you. It's secret because it's enclosed and it's shut up and no one has access to it and they don't know it. They don't even know when you're going in and out of there. No man can shut the door that you open because they can't even see it. But we just read there. Got the phone behind my back again, guys, my bad. But we just read there that what did she say? She said, hold on, got a little ahead of myself. It is the voice of my beloved knocking. Knocking. You see that there? So the door, like I described to you. They can't see it, so they can't access it. Only her beloved can. So it is with you. So it is with you. Your conscious mind is separated from your subconscious mind. You're not married within. So you don't consciously go within to the door and go into your bride who's in there waiting for you, which is your first love. Not anything out here that you see. You loving this out here. But we don't judge like that, little flock. Do we? No, we don't. No, we don't. We look at what's in here because that's what our father taught us to do. Jezebel taught us to do otherwise. So now who is your head today? Mm-hmm. 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 Continuing. So it is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. See, undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. So what are the drops of the night and what does dew represent? It represents a refreshing. His head, because his thoughts, which I told you represents the male. Feelings represent the female. So you have an internal space in you that's waiting for you to bring it the thoughts so it can construct something that will cause you to feel great. That's what I mean about people searching after things to make them experience the kingdom of heaven, which is a state of being. It's not a place. It's a state of being. That's how it's within you. It's a state of being. The state of perfect peace and love. That's the kingdom of heaven. You can only have that if you have harmony between you and your first love. If you're divorced from your first love, you will never experience the kingdom of heaven. So if nobody is teaching you what the grandson of right thought has been teaching you here at School of Marvelous Light and is teaching you here today, then you haven't learned anything. You haven't accomplished anything because you're searching everywhere outside of the kingdom of heaven, being deceived, just like Yahusha said, not to be. Look here, look there. Don't listen to that. It is within you. Your bride that will comfort you. The feelings that you're without, that you feel like you need something to give you the feelings that you're looking for. It's all within you, brother or my sister today. It's love that you're looking for, and it can only be found in the secret place, which is where your first love is, which has been destitute of you your whole entire existence because you've been too focused, turning black, working under the damn 3D, focusing on the 3D, looking to the 3D for your satisfaction, leaving your wife at home neglected, looking like Judge Mathis, showing up at the airport, TMZ running up on your ass, talking about, hey, you were married for 38 years. What's going on? Then Judge Mathis has to turn and say, hey, man, I was ripping and running too much. I neglected my wife. I was just sitting, doing businesses, trying to be a philanthropist, going around, partying with my friends. Did you see what we just read? Did you see what we just read here in Song of Solomon? I got my myrrh, eat and drink, friends. Everybody have fun. Come on, beloved, have fun. Your beloved is neglected at home waiting for you. We just read it. Now, is that not what Judge Mathis said about him and his wife? I neglected her. I was too busy jet setting, working under the sun, turning black. Now, I left my vineyard untended. I left my vineyard untended. My first love, I left her untended. And now she's going to cut me off and divorce me. I want to get my wife back. I'm just telling you what Judge Mathis said. Y'all can go and look and see if he said it or not. I'm just telling you because I'm pointing out a truth. That's why it manifested now. Because we've all done that to our brides. Redeem the bride. Like Judge Mathis said he's trying to do. You better go redeem yours. Keep listening. Now, the head filled with dew, ideas, thoughts that refresh your feelings. He's got his head full of it. She want him to bring it in there to her so that she can build something for her. You have the dew of youth. The dew of youth is in a man's loins. Okay? So semen and dew look very much alike. Why? Because it does the same thing. It fertilizes something. So right thoughts fertilize your feelings and make them sprout into a beautiful garden. See what I'm trying to tell you? But if you don't bring the dew and put it in your vineyard, then it will remain desolate and dry. So the whole nation of Israel was dry bones because they had no spirit in them. But when the spirit entered into them, they stood upon their feet. Got me out here walking like the bushwhackers. All right? And watch this here. I have put off my coat. This your bride talking to you. I put off my robe. Oh, snap, girl, you did? Yeah, I've been waiting for you. Watch. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? Basically saying, you want me to get up and go to the door. Why don't you just come in here? I'm in the bed waiting for you. Why are you making me come after you? Can you hear that, little flock? Calling to you. She can hear your voice, but she just can't see you. Let's see. I have put off my coat. How shall I put it on? I've washed my feet. How shall I defile them? My beloved put his hand by the hole of the door. Oh, he's coming. He's coming in. And my bowels were moved for him. See? So when you laid down to sleep, you put your hand like you were about to enter in, and she thought that you were. So she got hyped up, just like any woman would do that was been waiting for her man to come home. You see? So your subconscious rises up to prepare to make love to her man, her conscious mind, because he's now asleep. You see it? I rose up to open to my beloved, so she got up anyway. And my hands dropped with myrrh, my fingers with sweet-smelling myrrh upon the handles of the lock. You see it? I opened to my beloved. So she opened, but my beloved hath withdrawn himself. Oh my goodness. Can you hear the accuracy of what's being said here, little flock, now that you got the understanding that I've laid forth for you? Don't do you no good just to have no wisdom. It's also good to get you some wisdom now. Some understanding now. You see? So I'm going to help y'all get both. You see what's happening here? He withdrawn himself. That's the conscious mind, thinking about carnal things. Even as you doze off to sleep, you're thinking about carnal things. You're thinking about work. You're thinking about stress. You're thinking about bills. You're thinking about this. You're thinking about that. So you doze off, falling asleep, thinking about that. You withdrew yourself from your love, which means the feelings that are waiting for you to experience, your joy, your peace. That doesn't make you go to sleep peacefully, does it? No, it don't. So you're not going to sleep with your bride. She had myrrh waiting for you. She had her body all clean, smelling all good, waiting for you. She was naked and everything. She didn't even have no socks on her feet. Shit, that's the way you want your woman to be when you come home. I'm telling you right now. You want to come in there, she laying on the bed, frankincense and myrrh and shit, smelling all good, body all supple and shit, shining from the oil, glistening all off and everything, naked as hell. You like, the hell with the 3D. Shit, damn. You understand what I'm saying to you, little flockulators? Your first love. Woman, that's bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Good Lord. You see it there, little flockulators? All right. So he had withdrawn himself, watch this, and was gone. My soul failed when he spake. I thought I heard him. I thought he was here. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. What is it? Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. What did her hope? Her bowels moved when she heard his voice. She opened the door, he wasn't there. Hope deferred make the heart sick. Let's continue. My soul failed when he spake. Your soul means your psychological body, which is the seat of your feelings. Your psychological your psychological body, the part of your being. You see what I'm saying? That's your soul, which is what Christ said he can't give you rest for. Because the work he's going to give you to do is easy and light. I'm describing to you the work. I'm building up to how to do it. You see? That's easy and light. I'm going to show you what it is. The watchmen that went about the city found me. They smote me. They wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my veil from me. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem. Jerusalem means peace. O daughters of peace. That means the feelings that are matched up with peace. So when you're in a peaceful city, you don't just feel peace, you feel joy, gladness. Those are the sisters that come along with peace. Those are the daughters of Jerusalem. You see it? The daughters of Jerusalem. That's why I told you there's also daughter of Babylon. I told you how they are. You see the difference, little flock of laters. All right. If you find my beloved, she says, I charge you, daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, tell ye him that I am, what did I say? Hope deferred, make the heart what? Watch this, little flock. I charge you, you daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, that you tell him that I am sick of love. Click. About to sing. Skeet dee, can you understand me? Cause I make that shit clear, so crystal clearly. So now, when you don't go into that secret place within yourself and go to your love, your feelings become sick because you have neglected your wife, your first love. That simple. Just like we read, I've neglected my own vineyard because I was too busy in the 3D. See how it's all connected? All right, continuing. What is thy beloved more than another beloved, O thou fairest among women? What is thy beloved more than another beloved that thou dost so charge us? Like, what's so important about him? And then she's going to go on describing, verse 10 all the way down. She's going to go on describing what it is about him that she just loves so much. Y'all see that, little flockulators? She goes on saying it. But I think you guys get the point of what I was telling you through those scriptures, because now I'm about to get into what it all means and how do you apply it. If you haven't caught on by now, it means that throughout your day, you want things to be done so that you can feel good. And Yahusha came and told you what those simple things are. He said things like eating, drinking, clothing, shelter. Those are automatic needs that a person has. He knows it. He knows it. He says the Father he knows what you have need of before you even ask him. But he said, if you ask believing, then you shall have anything that you ask for. And then your joy shall be made full. That means your wife will be satisfied. Your wife will be satisfied. Your feelings. And then you'll have rest for your soul. And you won't be sick anymore. You'll be healed of that infirmity. What will do it, little flock? Choosing to consciously go through that door within yourself, which means lay down, get comfortable, go into your closet, close your door, like Yahusha said, go into the secret place, which is that fountain that is sealed up. Open the door, walk into your bride, which is within you, and decide the things that you were thinking about in the 3D, decide that they're already done in that world where your bride is, and let her construct it for you. And then you will have that experience in the 3D. That's how you get it. That's the only way you get it. There isn't any other way that you get anything that you get in life. Pow! Whack-a-mole and everybody that tells you anything other than that. That is the way that Yahusha was telling you about. The door. I am the door. I am the way. That's what he's telling you about right there. I am is. Who are you? Are you somebody other than I am when you introduce yourself to somebody? Do you exist? If you exist, then you I am. And if you I am, then you have a place within you that is sealed off where only you can enter. That's your internal state. Close your eyes. Nobody can go in that place where you're at right there. Now, when you go in there, you can simply decide to feel what you want to feel. Because she will. And once she does, then you have it. But if you leave her neglected and don't cause her to feel anything, then you're not going to bear any children. She's going to be barren. Now, what does the Bible say about Sarah? What does Sarai mean? Remember her name was Sarai and it was changed to Sarah? What does Sarai mean? It means barren mountain. I don't know if y'all can even understand what the grandson is saying, but if you wise, then you can understand. It means barren mountain. And it said, She who was barren have now brought forth. Do you understand why those scriptures are saying that? She was barren because you weren't going in there making her feel nothing. You were too busy partying. You were too busy being Judge Mathis, judging wrong, judging outward appearance, but neglecting your own vineyard. Do you understand that, little flockulators? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when you desire something, it doesn't matter what it is, then you must take that desire to the secret place. Do not take it to the outward world begging them to give it to you. It doesn't come that way. You're judging outward appearance. It doesn't. The kingdom of heaven does not come with outward observation. The kingdom of heaven is the state you're looking for. It's not any trinket. It's not anything. It is not any amount of a thing. It is not any physical object. It's the state you would feel had you had that. So then it's not that. It's the state you feel is what you're looking for. But how many people actually know that? Few there be that actually find it and enter into it. That's what he said. So it's true. Most people deny that what I'm telling you is true, even though right there in the scriptures, I just proved it to you. That's why most pastors, preachers, and most people do not teach out of the Song of Solomon, because they just simply don't understand what it's talking about. That's why. They could teach you some carnal shit. Yes, you see how a man should be for his woman, and you see how a woman should be for her man? This is our example right here in the Song of Solomon and how to be truly in love. You still don't understand what it means. Because how many of the teachers of today teaching you what the grandson has taught you today? Now, if this teaches you how to acquire anything that you're seeking for through the Spirit and by faith, then isn't that the most priceless gift you could ever have? Okay, wait a minute here. Wait. Why is everybody working? Is it to eat, to drink, to clothe themselves and house themselves? Is that why they work? Now, did Abba say that the children of Israel's error was that they sought it by works of their hands and not by faith? So they entered not in for unbelief? This is what I'm describing. This is what God was describing to you. This is what I'm saying. This message is what they disbelieve. They don't believe that. If they did, they would stop complaining about other people. They would stop worrying about what somebody else doing to you. You would stop giving a shit because you're too busy in bed, humping, making babies with your woman. You don't care about what's going outside of yourself. You would do what Yahusha said. You would do it. And we also know that there are people who do it wrong. There are people who go like they're about to go in the door and then they depart and withdraw themselves. What does that mean? That means that there are a lot of people who approach and they don't approach the right way. What does the Bible say? You ask amiss. Oh my God, foot sweep these niggas, grandson. Damn. You see what I'm saying to you, little flockulators? You ask amiss so that you can consume it upon 3D shit, the carnal mind. So you seeking it wrong. You're not being with your first love, which is within you, which is the true feelings. Spirit and in truth, brother. So spirit means within, and then you have to dwell truly. What is it you truly desire? Eternally. Peace, joy, eternal peace, man. Eternal love, eternal joy. That's what. Okay, so then what would give you those feelings? As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Simple as that, if you ask me. He can't think outside of his heart, and he isn't. That ain't what it say. As a man thinketh at the mall, so is he. As a man thinketh making it rain at the strip club, so is he. No. As he thinketh, the man, in his heart, the woman. She just described that that's where she was at. She was in his heart waiting. We just read it. And she was ready and willing. But he withdrew himself. And that's what y'all is doing. Unbelief is not pushing you to do it every day. Because if you did it every day, you stop worrying. Does Yahusha want you to worry, or does he want you to stop worrying? You guys tell me. Does he want you to have faith, or does he want you to lack faith? You guys tell me. When the Son of Man comes, shall he find what? So then what is faith? Faith is you going in that secret place and feeling the feelings as though what you're doing in there is real. That's what faith is. Now I'm going to explain it the way the scripture says it, and you compare it what I just told you. Faith is the substance of the thing hoped for, evidence not seen. Y'all understanding why the grandsons just pausing here? Because it's starting to resonate with you there? Is it starting to? Because guess what, little flock? It doesn't matter what goes on outside of you. It only matters what goes on inside of you. But there's a God of this world, Mammon, who's about material world, touch, feel. Like I said, Esau is hairy, so you can touch him and feel him. That's why Isaac touched him. See, it's about touching and feeling and sensory. Since you're in that world, there's a God of this world who understands that he can give you an illusion that will affect what happens inside of you, because he understands that as you think you are. So then if I can get you to think a certain way, then I can get you to become a certain thing. That damn simple. So I would advise you to be like Bob Marley and emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy or none of that shit that they do out there, because none of them can stop the time. How long will they kill our prophets while y'all just stand aside and look? I guess that's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing the song of freedom? That freedom is found within your heart? Because that's all I got in this world, little flock, is my song of freedom. A bird that was in a snare that has been cut and set free from that snare flies around singing his song of freedom, telling the other birds and the other children, saying, hey, flock, listen up. You can be set free today if you simply try it. And God told you all this in the book of Malachi. He said, try me and see. If you do what I'm telling you to do from the Song of Solomon, if you try it, then you will see that you will have all the things that you want, brother, which is the state of feeling inside, not an outward thing. But we seek to the outward thing to give us the satisfaction that we're longing for, whether it's loneliness. Then what does a man do to assuage his loneliness with the 3D? What does he do? He gets prostitutes. He'll get with an escort. He will, what else? Shit, he gonna pay for it. You see it? And it's going to satisfy him for a moment. And then he's going to feel the feeling again. And they're going to satisfy him for a moment. They're going to feel the feeling again. They're going to satisfy him for a moment. Somebody feeling pain. Then they go to some pharmaceutical to dull the pain they're experiencing. And now they're addicted to the pharmaceutical or the opioid. And now they have an addiction. But it has nothing to do with the opioid or the pill or the addiction. That's not what's actually going on. What's going on, little flock? Their vineyard is untended, so thorns and thistles have popped up. I don't know if they can hear me. Those are thorns and thistles that poke you when you walk through your vineyard. This shit poking you, stabbing you. Why? Because you've neglected it, and it will not change. Your outward circumstance will not change by outward things. It won't. You are what you think you are in your heart. And your feelings are subject only to your thoughts. That's why she's sealed. That's why she's a fountain. Shut up. Only for your access. As we just read, she's undefiled. And she's your perfect dove that will serve you. You hear that? She will provide everything you ask her to. She is a good helpmeet for you. If you believe it by faith, that woman was taken out of man, so there's no need in looking outside of man for woman. Look at the place where she was taken from, and then you'll find her. And then you will have redeemed your bride, and you will not be double-minded any longer. You will now be one flesh, and your I, who you are, is now single. Your feelings and your thoughts now match in perfect harmony and joy and peace everlastingly, because you found the pearl of great price. You have found the source of all things, which is within. Love, just like we just read. Your thoughts and your feelings must love one another, little flock. If they're not in love, then you're going to have psychological turmoil, and you won't have rest for your soul. And I understand that the illusionist and the deceiver will throw thoughts at you, but you don't have to accept them. You must be sealed up for Abba. That's why your forehead has a seal on it. Your forehead, I told you, is where you receive thoughts. So then you have a seal. That means you don't receive anybody else's thoughts, but I am. And his thoughts are high thoughts, joy, peace, and gladness. And he told us that, rejoice. And again, I say rejoice. Be of good cheer. Be of good cheer. These are the words of the master. He never told us stress and be worried. No, he came to relieve us of those things. This is the answer to the relief for all the stress that each one of you is going through. I met a woman one time. I knew a woman one time that had went through a bout of health issues. And because she had went through these issues, it had left some residual effects in the way that she walked and talked and things like that. And when I talked to her, her thoughts were that she was going to be alone now because no man was going to find her desirable because of what she had gone through. Now, I want you to hear what I just told you, little flock. Those are her thoughts. So then if that's what she thinks, then her wife, who is undefiled, see, and is a pure virgin, is going to simply believe that. See? So then her feelings go, damn. So then now she's one with that thought. So as you think, you are. So now you think because of that you're in this state. So then you are in that state. So what did I have to tell her, little flock? Well, why don't you just put some makeup on? Why don't you just do your hair differently and get some weave? Why don't you just get some surgery done and get this lipo done and get that pulled up and get a lip job here and get a butt BBL, and then you'll be able to attract any man that you want. You think that's what I told her? This is what I told her. I said, close your eyes, lay back, which she did. I said, now say these words. I am wonderfully and blissfully married to the man of my dreams. And she smirked. Her eyes were closed, but she smirked and she said it. And I said, now all you have to do is think that thought until you feel it as though it is real. If you had a man, what would you guys do? How would you spend your day with him? What kind of things would you do for him? You see how I'm shifting her mind from carnal to spirit? Carnal told her she was limited from having the thing she desired. But I am not limited by a fucking thing, little flock. I want you to feel that energy right there and get that shit up in your soul. I am not limited by a thing. Say it and feel it. I am happily and blissfully married. That's what you say. And that's what I tell anybody to do who bring their griefs to me and lay them upon my shoulders, because I'll take them off of you. I will show you that it ain't nothing but a fucking speck. Whatever it is that you think is holding you back, I'll show you it's nothing but a fucking speck. And all you have to do is change it into the truth of the reality of what you want, and simply search for that shit by faith, just like he told you to do. And he will reward you openly, little flock. He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek to enter that door and to sup with him. Like he said, he's standing, he's knocking, just like we read in Song of Solomon, to love you, to be your husband, to be your shepherd and guide you through every circumstance. So when you get on your knees and you start to bitch and moan and to tell your husband that he don't love you because look at your circumstances, you got to be alone because look at your circumstances, and you're lying on your husband because there's nothing that can separate you from his love for you, little flock. Don't you know that? Haven't you read it? Haven't you thought it and felt it in your heart as though it's real? Stop letting that fucking deceiver steal your joy from you today. Stop letting him steal your gladness. He's a fucking liar. And all he has is lies of the 3D to throw at you to try to get you to lose your joy, to lose your hope. And as we just discovered, hope deferred maketh the heart sick, man. It make your psychological life sick as fuck. And there ain't no psychological doctors out there that truly know what I'm telling you today. That truly set a man free. It's the truth. Worship him in spirit and in truth, and the truth shall make you free. You will see that you have it if you search for it the right way. Now, before I end this message, y'all, because I obviously can just keep on going with this Ruach energy blasting through me. Before I end this message, I want you to know that it works without fail, this thing that he has taught me. And I want you guys to look around right now and make sure there's no pigs and dogs around, because I don't want to share this with them. So make sure that they ain't around and clear them away from our vicinity. Get them out of our vicinity for that nigga end up like Kennedy. No offense. Okay? Get them up out of here. It works every time, little flock. That's why Abba said test it and see. If it's test me and see, if you told somebody that, then does that mean it don't work? I mean, watch what I'm telling you. If there were no cars ever in existence and you were the first one who invented a car and you had it sitting there, it wasn't started or running, you were just polishing it up, and somebody came by and said, what the heck is that thing? You said, man, it's an automotive transportation device. Whatever words you've come up with to describe that thing. It's a car. Okay. What does it do? Shit, they take you around and drive, man. All on its own? Yeah, man, you hit the pedals and take the steering wheel and steer how you want it to go. Man, that shit don't work, man. I ain't never seen nobody else driving one before. I ain't even heard of this damn thing. That's how people are when you tell them this spiritual truth. I never heard of that. Nobody ever taught me that. My preacher never said it because your preacher lied to you. That's why, what does it say there in Jeremiah 23, verse 1? Woe unto the shepherds that scatter my flock. I ain't scattering no flock. I'm gathering the flock. There's a whole damn difference between scattering and gathering. I know they sound the same, but they ain't the same. We make wolves scatter over here. That's what we do. We make dogs run with their tail between their legs. That's who gonna scatter around us, little flock. But as far as us, we gonna stay gathered up. In this truth, in this ark of this knowledge that Abba has sent me to give to y'all. I told you who I'm sent to, the SEAL. I ain't sent to nobody else. I'm sent to SEAL team. That's who I'm sent to. The ones who are sealed with that name, who know how to go into that secret place and ask Abba there for what they desire. And how do you ask? By feeling as though it's so. That's the secrets that I'm telling you guys. Breaking it down for you effortlessly and clearly. And like I said, before I end this, I want to ask you guys a question. How many of these so-called men of God, pastors, preachers, and prophets have told you this? If this is the only work you do, that's not vanity. Neglecting your own vineyard is vanity. But working and tending and keeping your vineyard is the only work that's not vanity. It's the only thing that matters. Fearing Abba and keeping his commands. That's the only thing. And that's done within you. You don't do it outside of you. That's the old world. You did it outside, you judged outside, and it fooled a whole lot of people, and Yahusha had to come correct it. So we don't do that no more, because the true Jew is not one of outward appearance, nor is he one of the circumcision, but he is one of the circumcised heart and one of inward change. Can you see it today, little flock? He doing the inside stuff. He ain't doing the outside stuff, because the outside stuff is vanity. Now, there's no evidence that what I'm doing in that secret place is going to produce the result, is there? Now, I'm going to give you guys a few examples. I've told this story many times, but it's my testimony, so I'm going to tell it again. I was on a journey, 300 miles. I was on foot. I had nothing. As I'm walking on the side of the freeway, going north, in other words, to get back to my destination, as I'm walking, I'm carrying some objects in a plastic bag. Now, I didn't say any words out loud. I just want you guys to listen to me and tell me if I'm just being crazy or foolish. I'm carrying a bag over my shoulder. It's a plastic bag just wrapped around my hand with a bunch of books and stuff in it, over my shoulder like this. And I'm walking. And that shit hurting. It's hurting my hand, it's hurting my shoulder, and it's extremely uncomfortable. Shit swinging, hitting me all in the back of the leg and every damn thing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I got 300 miles to go, and I'm going to carry this bag like that. But you know, if I just had a backpack, I didn't even said a word outside of myself. I'm just thinking it. See, thinking. If I had a backpack, then, see, when I say then, that's when my wife walks in. Watch. If I had a backpack, man, I would just, see, I feel something because of that thought. I would feel relieved, man. My back would just this. As I'm thinking that, I look on the side of the freeway. There's a backpack there. I told this story before on my videos, and then I showed the backpack. I still have it right now. I showed it on the video. That was the backpack I found years ago on the side of that freeway. So I put the stuff inside the backpack, which was way huge, big backpack, brand new, damn near looked like, very accommodating. Put everything in there and put the backpack on. Oh my goodness, what a relief. What a relief. So wait a second here. I didn't do anything outside of myself. I didn't say, God, please, if you could just bless me, then I would be so grateful. I didn't open my mouth. I spoke in my heart. That's a true Jew. And I asked, believing. Well, what was the believing? Then I would be so relaxed and comfortable, Abba. It would really help me because I'm going to go the journey. I'm going to go. I just need some help and some support. Boom, there's the backpack laying there on the side of the freeway. Okay, put that on. Now I got some shoes on that were given to me by somebody else. They were 2 sizes too small, so my feet started to bleed. They were very uncomfortable and tight, and my feet started to bleed after I was walking for about 10 to 12 miles. So then I said, oh, snap. My feet, oh, man. My feet are bleeding. I got like 290 miles to go and shit. Oh, man, how am I going to do this? First it was the back. No, it's my feet. Oh, man. See how the carnal mind starts going? So then I said, well, Abba, watch. I said, well, when I needed a backpack, this is called praising, which is my tribe's name. This is why this is what you should do, is be who you are. So my tribe name means praise Yah. So then that's what I did. I started to sing. And I said, Abba, you're so awesome and good and powerful and mighty that I asked for a simple request. And there are billions of people on the earth. This is all I'm saying in my heart as I'm walking, thinking about my feet. I'm saying there are billions of people, Abba, but you took the consideration to look on little old me. What is man that you're mindful of me? To take consideration for what I'm going through right now, to hear my little plea and to give me this backpack. Thank you, Father. As I'm thinking about that, there's a Goodwill sign there. Now I have $9 in my pocket, which was given to me that morning by a man out of charity. I walked into the Goodwill and I found some shoes that were my size that were $5. So I went in and put the shoes on. Oh my gosh, like night and day. Paid the $5, took the other shoes off, cast them to the side, put on the $5 Nikes that were totally different, like walking on clouds. Walked out of that Goodwill. Abba, see what I'm saying to you, little flock? Praise. Abba, I was just thinking. I needed a backpack. I started right back again. I'm like, I needed a backpack and my back was hurting and you just cared for me. And you gave me that grace. You gave me a backpack just sitting there. Thank you, Father. And then my feet were bleeding and you've made it a way where $5 was able to get me the shoes that I needed, Father. And the $5 that I got came from a brother named James, a guy that said that he grew up hating black people. Hating niggers was his word. But he changed and he learned to let go of that hate. And he got around some black people and found out that what he had been taught by his mother was wrong. That's what he said. So he helped me that day. That's how I got the $9. So now I'm walking and then I see, oh, well, I'll skip some of the other stuff because it'll be too long for me to tell you everything that took place. But to make a long story short, now I'm walking. I got the shoes in the backpack and I'm feeling good. I'm walking and I'm thinking it's getting about to be nightfall. Where am I going to sleep? See how the carnal mind? Where you gonna sleep at? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know that nigga, what you gonna do start coming. All right, I know what I'm gonna do. Hey, Abba, when I needed a backpack, I'm just telling you the truth. When I needed a backpack, you just did it for me, man. I needed some shoes. You just did it for me, Abba. I was sitting in the McDonald's and the girl from behind the counter had an ice cream cone. She said, hey, somebody paid and bought this and didn't give me come get it from the counter. So they just walked out. Do you want it? Sure. You see, Abba, it's like you're just helping me every step of the way. As I'm thinking this, a truck pulls up. Lady named Starla. Hey, what's going on? What you doing over here on this farm road? I'm trying to get back home. Well, where's your home? It's about such and such amount of miles that way. Oh, my goodness. Well, let me see what I can do. Remember, my question was, where are you going to sleep tonight? Well, she takes me to her father's house, who happens to have a camper sitting in his driveway. She comes out the house, says, yeah, my dad says you can sleep in his camper for the night. And then I hear some thunder and it starts sprinkling. Wait a second here. This all happened in one day. She bought me some dinner, by the way. I ate that, laid in that camper, kicked my shoes off, cried, praising again from the heart, and went to sleep. When I woke up, I had breakfast ready for me. The lady came and brought it for me and came and said she had a meeting and the next city over, which was about 50 miles. She's like, I could take you about 50 miles, and when I get to my meeting, I'm going to have to let you go. Okay, cool. Well, her meeting got canceled on our way going to it, so she said, well, I might as well just take you all the way the rest of the 200 miles. What? You is? Yeah. And I'm going to give you some money, I'm going to give you some supplies, and I'll even give you a bicycle that you can take with you when you go. My God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. My God is an awesome God. Is he or is he not? According to what I've just told you. And like I said, I'm leaving out a lot of other things that happened, guys. Man stopped on the side of the freeway while I was walking, pulled over. He was on his way to go buy some drugs for himself. And he stopped and pulled over. So I'm going to say, oh, look at this guy. So drug addict, look at tracks all on his arm and every damn thing. Look at this junkie. Don't try to fucking help me. No, I'm saying, look at this man of the heart who stopped compassionately on the side of a freeway and reversed in his car back toward me and said, hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I'm just trying to. He went, got his drugs, took me 4 or 5 miles up the freeway and let me off. His wife was calling like, well, come on, when you coming back home? So he came on, he dropped me off, gave me a cell phone, deleted all his information and made it back blank again, and then gave it to me and said, you can have that. I told you about how Mr. Wilson stopped on the side of the road and took me all the way to the freeway, which would have took me an hour or two even to get there. He took me there, dropped me off at the freeway, and I was able to walk, knowing I was going north now. All these little things that was happening along the way, I would just keep on clicking it in place for me. And you think that I'm going to sit up here and say, oh, no, I don't believe that stuff. Okay. Well, everything that I needed, that little voice was saying, how? Abba is how, nigga? What the hell you asking me how? Devil? Why the fuck you asking me how? Abba is who you need to ask how. Ain't he the one who make things happen? Oh, well, yeah. Well, yeah, let me get away from you, dude. Yeah, skedaddle your stupid ass up out of here, you rascal. Don't come talking to me with that bullshit. I'm silt off. Y'all hear this shit today? Say it with me, little flock. I'm silt off. I'm silt off and silt up. So what you gonna do? Y'all hear me, little flockulators? So today I would advise you, it's easy in life. And it's only gonna take you 5 minutes. So if you're facing a trouble today, scan your internal psychological world and see how you're feeling in there. What your worries are. Now I want you to pick one of those worries up. Just one. I want you to pick one of them up. I want you to go into your secret place and I want you to construct a scene that implies that it's already fulfilled. The worry is fixed. Imply that scene in your mind and then feel the feelings as though it is. You understand me, little flock? And then once you feel the feelings that as though it is, you have now fecundated the waters or had an orgasm, which is going to produce a child. And then you let it go. Just like a man lets the woman go. After he ejaculates into her, he lets her go. And 9 months later, here's the baby. So when I said, Abba, man, the backpack you just gave me, you're just looking out for me, Abba. Every step of the way, you look out for me. So then he starts doing it. Because I'm telling him he is, so he does. That's what he said. Try me and see if I don't start opening up stuff for you. Well, me not even sleeping on the ground, I'm sleeping in a bed of a stranger who was kind enough to let me do it. He doesn't even know me. He's an elder gentleman living on a farm. He said, yeah, sleep in my camper, man. And he slept in the house. I didn't even meet him until the next day. So he didn't even come out the house and say, well, who the hell is this guy? Let me look him over and see if he's even worthy to even be sleeping. I don't know who the fuck he is. He could be anybody. He didn't do any of that. His daughter went in the house for a few minutes. And when she came out, she said, here's the key. My dad said you can sleep in there for the night. So then I looked at the devil and said, how, bitch. How. You asked me how. Well, got the key in my hand. See? Got the pizza sitting next to me that she bought. See? Got the breakfast she gave me. See, nigga? Keep asking me why so I can keep holding up the blessings I'll give me. See, nigga? Y'all hear me today, little flock? So y'all be blessed today. Rest in that and know that that's the way to procure the desires of your heart. Not anything outside of you, but seeking it by faith in that secret place where your wife is waiting for you with her fingers dropping with myrrh. That means she ready. She ain't even got no robe on. Nor does she got anything on her feet. So I think it's pretty clear what she's waiting to do. Make some sweet love so y'all can make some sweet babies. Sweet experiences, that is. That's the kingdom of heaven, if you ask me. Feeling good, feeling joyful, feeling glad, and being of good cheer. You see that today? So try it today, little flock, and see if it works for you. And then you're going to sing your song of freedom like the grandson be tweedly-deeing every day when he talk to y'all, little flock. Silwan Mr.